So you want to be a millionaire, huh? Well, I believe that crypto and HBAR can be used as a vessel to get you, myself, and many others to that point. And by 2025 specifically, because that is the next bull run that's coming up. And right now we're in the bear market, so the best time to buy projects like HBAR or anything else that we have conviction in. So today we're going to be looking at how many HBAR do you need to be a millionaire by 2025. However, I must say that before we get into this, I'm going to assume that you have done your research, or after you watch this video, you go and do your research and you find out what is HashGraph technology, what it is that powers and runs HBAR, and you find out who the team is, who's running HBAR, Hedera, what they're working towards, what the partnerships are, what their utilities are, and what's possible with HBAR, guys. Once you determine all these things, then you can have that really strong conviction. Maybe you've already done this and that's why you're watching this video, but make sure you do this, guys, because then you know what HBAR is, and then you can really go all in. Like myself, I'm not all in on HBAR, obviously I diversify, but it is my biggest holding, I must say, because I think it's an amazing project. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So starting off with determining what are our knowns, guys. We gotta determine what's our knowns and our unknowns. So first, we know that HBAR is currently at a price of $0.064, so about 6.5 cents, and sitting at a market cap of $2 billion. So knowing this, now we gotta determine, okay, how do we get to $1 million, guys? So that's a lot of unknowns. We don't know how much we need. We don't know how much it's gonna cost us to buy it. We don't know what our target prices are yet, and we don't know how many we need at the end in order to make the $1 million. So that's what we're going to jump into here. So a brief overview, what we're going to do here is we're going to find out what it is that we need in order to have $1 million of value at the end of the bull run here. So $1 million we want to see here, and that's going to determine how many HBARs we need to buy now. And then that's going to be based on what the max and minimum prices it is that we expect for HBAR. So diving in here, we got to determine how can we estimate HBAR's price range in 2025. Well, I personally, I'm doing it based on two metrics. Number one is that Cardano went from a $1 billion market cap in 2019-2020 to $95 billion in 2021. And I believe that HBAR could do it too, especially considering that HBAR right now has so much more utility, guys. They have so much more traction. They have so many more transactions per second. They are way ahead of the curve from Cardano. Even right now, if you compare them side to side, and comparing it to Cardano back when Cardano was $1 billion market cap, HBAR blows it out of the water. So let's take a closer look here at the price ranges here, market cap for Cardano and how it performed. So here, this is Cardano's chart from 2018 all the way to 2023. And you can see that after the bull run in 2017, Cardano crashed back down to about $1 billion market cap and $2 billion market cap, kind of ranged along there for a long, long time. And this red line here is HBAR's current market cap, about $2 billion, guys. And you can see that Cardano from 2020 up to the end of 2021 at the top of the bull run, it went up to $90 billion, guys. This is crazy. It's actually amazing. It's a crazy run because if I think about HBAR right now, it seems almost unbelievable to think that we can go from, $2 billion market cap all the way to 90 billion, but Cardano did it. So HBAR can do it too. All right, now let's look at the metric number two. For me, that is Fibonacci retracement levels. Now, you guys might not be familiar with Fibonacci retracements or Fibonacci numbers. If you're not, I suggest looking into it, specifically Fibonacci numbers. This is based on Fibonacci numbers, which are usually called nature's numbers. They're just a sequence of numbers that tend to appear in nature quite often. And somehow we can tie these to human emotion and what tends to happen in markets. So that's kind of what Fibonacci retracements are based on. And we're going to use this to see what the potential price performance will be for HBAR. And I'm going to also compare that to retracements for Bitcoin, the total crypto market cap in the past, and Cardano, and then we're going to determine the max and minimum prices that we talked about previously. So here is Bitcoin's chart from 2017, about 2016, all the way to 2022, 2023, so up to right now. What you see here, this is a Fibonacci retracement. And so back in 2021, a few people were able to really hit on what the top of the market was going to be for Bitcoin. So like YouTubers like Blockchain Backer, he used Fibonacci retracements to know exactly when the top was going to be. I mean, he didn't know for sure that it was going to reach up here, but he knew that once it reached up here, that was it. And so he cashed out at the top because he knew this. It's not 100%, but it's a tool that we can use to, you know, have a better idea of what the price performance might be. And so the way this works here, you take the Fibonacci retracement from the one line here, the one at $19,057 was Bitcoin's price at the top of the market 2017. And then you pull this retracement down to the bottom of the bear market in 2019, 2020. And so that was about $3,200 for Bitcoin. And this extends and creates this extension here, guys, of the Fibonacci retracement. And so you got different levels here. You got the 1.618, 2.618, 3.618, and 4.236. And within each of these, you can see the price ranges. And so this determined, okay, the top of the Fibonacci was going to be 4.236, right? And that price was $70,000. And crazy enough, Bitcoin went to about 69,000. And so you can see that this retracement works sometimes, right? It literally told you what the top was going to be for Bitcoin back in 2021. And then we can look at that as well on the crypto total market cap, excluding BTC. So this is the overall crypto market without Bitcoin being included. And so you take the Fibonacci retracement from the top of the market 2017, bring it down to the bear market at the 0 line. It retraces up to about $1.85 trillion, guys. And surprisingly enough, we hit $1.7 trillion market cap at the top of the bull run. So didn't go as high as Bitcoin did to hit the 4.236 Fibonacci retracement level, but it did get into that range. So once again, an example of how this actually worked quite well. However, Cardano is an exception in this case because doing the Fibonacci retracement, it only reached that 2.618. So this is evidence that we don't always reach the top of the band, the 4.236. Sometimes we get cut short, which is what happened to Cardano. But Cardano did amazing, as we just seen previously here, from $1 to $2 billion market cap all the way to 90 billion. So if it would have reached the top of this band, it would have been insane, guys. And so even with reaching the 2.618, it was an amazing run. And so we can tie all this back to HederaHashgraph, guys. Doing the Fibonacci retracement for Hedera from the top of the market in 2021, and just taking it off this wick here to the bottom of the bear market in 2023, which I am pretty confident that we have bottomed already. This gives us our extension for a Fibonacci retracement for HBAR for the next bull run. So at a 4.236, we're looking at a $2.30 HBAR. So that's going to be our maximum price. And then considering that Cardano only went to the 2.618 last bull run, you know, I personally think that a conservative way to look at it is to take the minimum price that the HBAR could go to, that could be the 1.618 level, which would be 90 cents, guys. And so this is a range, a minimum and a high. And you'll see that coincidentally, this actually lines up with the market cap that Cardano did in its bull run. And so looking back to our chart here that I initially started out with a bunch of question marks, now we have a lot more knowns. So we had the knowns previously of the current price of 6 cents, current market cap of about $2 billion. And now we know, okay, our minimum price that we're likely to sell at, which would be 90 cents. And this equates to about $29 billion market cap. Seems pretty reachable, right? Pretty achievable for HBAR to reach this price level and this market cap, considering that Cardano hit 90 billion, right? You could probably agree with that. And max $2.30, which would be the top of the Fibonacci retracement, that would be a $75 billion market cap for HBAR. So also not too crazy, right? Considering that Cardano went to 90 billion. And so based on this, we can determine, okay, how many HBAR do you need to get $1 million? Just thinking the ideal scenario that you would sell at the top of the market, that you would sell at exactly $2.30, all of your holdings, how much would that give you? That would give you $1 million. And so what you need is 434,000 HBAR. And so knowing that, we had to determine, okay, how much is that going to cost you to buy that now? That would be $27,000, guys, to buy it. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this min price here? And why do I have this here? Well, at the minimum price, if you were to say, I'm going to sell, you know what, I ran all the way from $27,000 to $391,000. I'm good with this, guys. I'm going to cash out. Well, you know, this would be your cash out if you were to sell out completely at the minimum price of 90 cents, which would be quite conservative. It's almost like a guaranteed. And so it's good to know that minimum level that we could hit. And then this creates a range, guys. It creates a range, a selling range from the minimum to the maximum. And we're going to dollar cost average our way out of the market within this range. And even leave a little bit for a moon bag past the max price in case we go higher. And so the way that we can DCA our way out in 2025, this is my strategy, is like this, guys. So here I have a bunch of selling levels, and I'll show you guys this little illustration here. So this is what we're doing right now, right? We're accumulating all our tokens now before the Bitcoin halving, which will probably happen sometime in April 2024. So I really think you probably have up until December for lower prices, and then they'll start moving up. Although we might see a little market downturn here in September, October, but we'll see. And then as the market starts going higher and higher in 2025, likely towards the middle or end of it, you'll start reaching these levels, guys. You'll reach your minimum level and then the maximum level that we determined. And so the smiley faces are all the selling levels. So you would sell the first amount here at the minimum, and then your next mid-range, and then you would sell more at your max range. And then you have your moon bag, which you could sell higher here, or if it just comes back down, you can sell that remaining amount on the way down. But you know what your minimum levels are and your mid levels. So as you start coming down and you know the market starts passing right through those levels on the downside, well, you say I got to get out, because you know you already measured this. You already know what prices you want to hit, what percentages you want to sell, and so you make your way out before the market crashes down here. Because the last thing you want to do is hold on and hope for a retracement to go back up. That never happens. And then you end up holding your bags all the way down here, guys. That happened to so many people, even myself, back in 2021. And so we got to learn from our mistakes. If you're new to this market, guys, just trust me, this will happen to you. You get caught up in the euphoria. You think it's going to go higher and higher and higher. And then it comes down. You're like, okay, no, there's no way it's going to come down, right? Like it'll go back up. And all of a sudden you're down here, and now you don't want to sell it because you're at a loss or you're making no money. So starting off, the minimum level would be 90 cents, as we mentioned. And if you sell about 10% of your holdings, that's about a 14x. This guarantees your initial investment, guys. You're cashing out at least the amount that you put in. After that, there's mid levels of $1.35, 15% of your bag, that's a 21x. Then 185 at 25%, that's a 28x, guys. So by the time you reach about $2, you've already exited 50% of your bag with quite a bit of returns. And then you got $2.15, 20% of your bag, 33x. Then you get your max, $2.25, 10% of your bag, about a 35x. And so by the time you sell your max target, you've already exited about 80% of your bag. And now you'll notice here that I don't have $2.30. It's $2.25, because naturally humans' psychology is that we want to hit those even numbers, right? $2.30, $2.40, or even $2, $3. And so people front run that. And so what we're doing here is front running the front runners. We want to get out just before the whole number, because people tend to front run that and get out a little bit earlier, and then you get caught. For example, Cardano, I believe it reached like $2.90, and then it never really reached the $3. So people got dumped on by, you know, the other investors that have experience and they know what they're doing. And then there's some left, 20% about, for a moon bag, guys, which you could sell at 255, 275, which would give you a greater return of 39 or 42x. Or, you know, you could catch it on the way down and you could sell it at 185, 135 and still be good. And so next here is a little breakdown of what would happen if you were to DCA your way out based on that initial investment. So DCAing reduces but guarantees returns, guys. I like this. I like the sound of this. It reduces your returns, but it guarantees them. And so doing the price levels that we talked about before and the percentages, these are the values that you're getting out at each cell level. First, you get 39,000 out, considering that your buy-in is $27,000 if you want to make $1 million, remember. But we'll look at different scenarios, more realistic scenarios for different buy-ins and what that would look like. But for now, considering the $1 million target here based on $27,000 buy-in, if you DCA your way out These are your sell values. And then at the end, you end up with about $843,000, which is not $1 million, but it's still really good, right? You've guaranteed these quantities here, 39,000, 88,000, 201,000 before you're reaching $2. I think that's amazing. And so now to be a millionaire, obviously you have to increase your buy-in. Your buy-in would now be 38,000 instead of 27,000. And that would mean that you need about 600,000 HBAR. And then obviously your values, your returns at each sell level would be much greater to eventually be $1 million. But this is kind of unrealistic for most of us, right? So looking at a more realistic scenario for most, your buy-in, let's say, is $3,000 to get, let's say, a round number of 50,000 HBAR. Ideally, you might want like 100,000 HBAR, I believe, for a more significant return that could be more life-changing. But this is amazing already. If you can get $83,000 out of the market, it's a full-time salary there. And so if you put in 3,200 selling at these price levels on these percentages, obviously I suggest you guys determine your own price levels to sell at, your own percentages at each level, and then how much you're cashing out each time. But right off the bat here, 90 cents, you're cashing out $4,500. That's already more than you put into the market. And then the rest is all profit, guys. So then you just start selling. And then by the end, you got $83,000, which is a full-time salary, as I said. And now you might say, yeah, but I have to pay tax on that. Well, guys, my question is, don't you have to work how long? A year to make this money? And then you pay tax on that anyway, 30%, 40%. So I would rather click a few buttons and make this money and pay tax on it than go to an office or a job site and actually make this over a full year and then pay tax on that. So tax is just reality, guys. It's just what we have to deal with these days, or always. We can't get around it. But this looks like a pretty good scenario, guys. So I suggest looking into these price levels, looking into the minimum, what you feel comfortable would be your minimum price and your maximum price, what percentages you want to sell at each level. And that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you guys enjoyed what I did here and you think it's useful to you. Comment down below, and that'll let me know to make more like this. Hit the like button and subscribe for more. I'll catch you guys soon.